Hi and welcome to another edition of Nazarian Guns Recognition Guide online review. Today we are going to talk about how to pro up your gun. What do I mean by proing up your gun? Well, we are going to learn how to highlight your stamps and markings on your gun or your pistol to make it look like a professional gun. So without further ado, let's head to the table. Okay, we are now at the table. There are several ways to fill in these markings on your gun. One of the methods I've heard about on, for instance, YouTube is to use crayons and credit card. You fill the crayons into the markings, and then you use a credit card to wipe off. And then again, you fill in with crayons and use the credit card again, many times to fill these perfectly. Now, the problem with using crayons is it's basically wax with color. And when the gun is fired, especially if you try to fill the markings on the barrel is introduced to heat. And as I said, since crayon is of wax, it will melt. And the other problem with using crayon is that every time you clean the gun, if you put a brush to your markings, it will take off the wax. So we have to try to use a more professional way. And voila, we're going to use nail polish. You need, of course, nail polish, you need nail polish remover, and let me warn you about this only one time. Use acetone-free nail polish remover or you will eat out the paint of your gun. Then you need some isopropanol. It's basically alcohol. This is to degrease your gun. You will need cotton swabs, and finally toilet tissue. So let's remove the gun and continue over to our subject that we are going to highlight today. I'm not going to highlight the Glock, of course, since it's already highlighted. So first off, we take the isopropanol. We take the cotton swab and we dip it in the alcohol. Do remember to put on the bottle cap again, because this isopropanol, which is alcohol, first off, it vanishes very easily when left without and it smells very terrible. It irritates your throat, and yeah. What you do then is that you go over the markings that you want to fill with your nail polish to degrease them. You have to try to get in deep, and also with doing this method is, but that's basically for all methods, if you want to fill the markings, is that you have to have good stamps on your gun. If you don't have good stamps on your gun, it's very hard to make the paint, or rather make the stamp accept the paint. Basically because when you try to remove the excess paint, it's gonna go too deep and remove the excess paint, and also the paint that you are trying to fill the stamps with. Well, I've gone over the stamps now. So now I turn it around and use the dry side to remove as much as possibly the excess alcohol. By the way, alcohol vanish pretty quick in room temperature, so it's not a biggie, but to make it go a little faster, we use this swab also to pick up the last bits of grease and shit in the markings that the alcohol now has dissolved, but hasn't removed. And as you can see on your swab, if the gun is clean, and this gun was clean before I started this process, but you can still see that there's some dirt to the swab. So make sure you get that real good so the paint can get a good base to coat. Okay, now that is done, I'm just going to go over with some toilet tissue to make sure that everything is neat and tidy. Okay, then we are going to use the nail polish. Sorry, the alcohol is bothering my airways a little. First off, get this fluidly. And my girlfriend learned me that you shouldn't shake these, but roll them to not get air bubbles in them. So rather than shake them, you should gently roll them. Okay, I think that's enough. And then glob the paint on your stamps. This is not a big problem because you will remove the excess paint afterward, so no worries there. You're not going to ruin your gun or anything. Make sure you get every spot very good with the thick layer of nail polish. I have done many of my guns already, so maybe I need to go and get my girlfriend to buy another of these nail polish. I wouldn't stick my face in a beauty shop ever. The questions from the clerks would be, you know, too much for me to bear. Okay, that should suffice. Then we have to let it dry. Basically, you can blow on it to make it go a little faster. Yeah, it's pretty hot in here, so the drying should go pretty fast. Then it's time for the acetone-free nail polish remover. What you do is you take the toilet tissue, put a gentle amount of nail polish remover onto the tissue. Make sure it's not too wet. If it's too wet, you're just going to go too deep into nail polish, and you will remove too much. Do remember while doing this, change side on the tissue very often. So when you have taken off the excess paint, that you don't drag it back in and over your markings, because then you have to go over again and you're always at risk of taking too much. But as you can see, there's good stamps in this gun, so we're already getting the Made in Germany marking very good. Don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it should be pretty nice. Let's continue with the other markings. And I know these markings here is not that deep as the Made in Germany stamp, so this I might need to go over several times to make it perfect. Now I can already see that I need to go over at least once more on these markings here. As you can see here, these markings are very faint. Thus, we need to go over them again after we have gone over the last here. And these are also, as you can see here, we need to do this part again. So basically, again with the nail polish, glove it really good. Try to get every nook in the steel. And if we have problems with going too deep, there is one way we can try to fight that problem, and that is by trying to make the toilet tissue very stiff and very flat. Well, while you were away, I went over the other side of the gun and filled in the markings there, and we should be about ready to see if that got stuck, and it pretty much did. And let's try the other ones. Some of the markings on this gun are very faint, and they are going to be a problem, which for instance the Glock is not, which have really good markings. But we're going to try till we get it done. Of course, this would be a problem with any other method as well, since the problem is that there's so little to fill. Being that little to fill, it is a problem to get anything to stick. So you wouldn't have any luck with this if you tried to use any other method. Let's see now if we can remove the innermost without ruining the middle one, because the middle one was quite nice. There we go with the middle one. And it looks like the lower one, which is the weaponsmith markings, they're going to be really tough to get done. Made a little mess there, but nothing we cannot remove. Okay, welcome back. We are now finished with this revolver. I have went over it many times, and we are now pretty good to go. I had a real fight with the serial number here. It is really faint. It's a very bad stamp. The same goes for the logo here, Arminius. It's a very poor stamp. Let's see if we can, but I think we got it as good as we can. Normally, such poor quality stamps as this, I don't battle with, but to prove a point here, I even had to construct this little paper here, and I had to fold over paper many times like this and soak it very gently to get a flat as possible surface, so to not get too deep into these grooves. So it actually took me 5 or 6 times to get these two marks here. The rest of them were very easy. It came on the first or the second time. Even the gun marks down here from the armorer who made this especially weapon was quite easy to get compared to the poor quality of the stamping here. Serial number here. Well, this concludes our instructions on how to pro up your gun. Of course, you can apply this technique to your shotguns or your rifles or your magazines. I hope this has been an enjoying session for you, and that this will help you to pro up your weapons. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.